All right. We are live. We are live. Welcome, everybody to Money Talk Mondays. Once again, I am your host with the most, Jawaan Sween. We want to thank everybody for tuning in to today's episode. Listen, it's going to be an amazing episode today. I'm extremely excited. We have a special guest, but before I bring him on, I want to encourage everybody to like. I want everybody to comment. I want everybody to please tag. I want everybody to share this broadcast. And again, please take out your pens, your pads, take out your phones, go into your notes, and begin to take notes because it's going to be a lot of gems being dropped today. I'm telling you, you're going to be in for a treat, and there's going to be so many valuable nuggets that you want to write down. So I encourage you all to just like once again to share. We want you to comment. We want you to engage. It's important that you engage. Let us know that you are receiving this information. Share it to all of your platforms. Share it to Facebook. Share it to Instagram. Share it on the YouTube link out to your friends, to your family, your coworker. You may be at work right now. You may be on your lunch break, but this is a perfect time to share, to like, to tag, and to comment and engage into this broadcast. I'm telling you, it's going to be a broadcast that you do not want to miss. So we definitely want y'all to tap in, man, because it's going to be lit. It's going to be awesome. Last week we had an amazing episode. We talked about introduction of financial literacy, and a lot of people inboxed me and they said, Jawaan, this was awesome. This was great. You were dropping a lot of gems. I was taking notes. I was at work taking notes. I was at home taking notes, and that's what we like to hear, man. This is why we came up with the show. This is why we created a concept around Money Talk Mondays. To provide a lot of financial literacy information that will be valuable to the audience. So that is the reason for why we do what we do. So listen, without further ado, man, I'm not going to belabor the hour, man. I'm going to bring on this next guest, my special guest on this afternoon. This brother right here, man, he is a business consultant first and foremost. He's a business coach as well. He's the CEO of Pinkney Wealth Group LLC. He is a husband. My man is a credit expert. My man is an entrepreneur. He's a social media influencer. Overall, he's just business oriented, business minded. He got a lot of ventures going on. He's an investor. You name it. This man, he got a lot of things, in the pipeline. So, we definitely want to encourage him to come on, but we also want y'all to, tap in one last time. You tap in one last time, get your pens, get your notepads, because a lot of the information that this brother is about to bring and the questions that we're going to be asking him, man, he's going to be able to answer it to the T so that you can get a better understanding of what he does and how to apply all of the information that he's going to talk about today. So without further ado, man, we're going to get ready to bring on my brother Troy Pinkney, and we definitely going to, have him come on, and we're gonna introduce him, man. So, brother Troy, thank you, man,
Yes,
for
sir.
for tuning in. Thank you, man, for joining the show. I appreciate your time. I know you're a very busy guy. I know you have a lot of endeavors and a lot of things going on, man. On your side. So thank you, man, first and foremost for taking this time out, man. To allow me to interview you and allow me to, ask you questions, man, based upon what you do, man. Because I know you got a lot going on. I seen you on Instagram, ripping and running, shaking and moving, and I definitely am excited about this episode, man, because I know that the people are going to be blessed by all the information, that you're going to be sharing with them today. So without further ado, man, welcome Troy Pickney, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. What's going on with you?
I'm blessed, man. Shaking and moving, trying to be like you, King. You know what I'm saying? So again, thank you, man, for joining. So the first question, man, I'm gonna ask you just to, break the ice a little bit, man, is, just, tell the people about who Troy is, man.
Yeah, for sure. So, as I said, my name is Troy Pinkney, and I'm a business consultant, entrepreneur. I help entrepreneurs secure capital, basically 9 to 5 entrepreneurs, right? Secure capital. The reason why I focus on that particular group set is because I'm doing that myself. right? I know the struggles, I know the trials and tribulations of balancing a business and also having a 9 to 5, living your everyday life. And not too many people don't realize that there is a way out, right? There's information that you can use and utilize and leverage to get out of your situation, right? So that's the reason why I focus on that particular group set, and I help them secure up to 50 to 100K in capital to grow or even start a business.
That's awesome, man. Man, that's phenomenal, man. So, next question I have for you is, what really sparked you, man, to delve into the business, ventures and endeavors that you got going on? What really sparked that entrepreneurial spirit or that entrepreneurial mindset?
Got you. Yeah, I really never really liked working for people. I mean, I'm sure we all don't like working for people. I don't like getting up early in the morning for someone else, but we gotta do what we gotta do. But what really started me on my financial journey before doing this, I fixed cell phones. Right, I used to fix iPhone screens. I used to do a little bit of that. I had a couple of e-com stores. I always was trying to do something different to try, to have something of my own, like ownership. And I started out in credit repair. I never forget when COVID first started, like the brink of COVID. What happened was um, I was getting laid off. I was about to lose my job, whatever the case may be. And I was in my house. I was sitting on the couch and I was just going through YouTube. And I don't know if you guys know him 500.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I ran across one of his videos, and he was just going on about turning credit into cash. He was going on how he can utilize his reward points on purchasing everyday items, your car loans, food, your rent, using that to do all of these things. And I'm listening to him like, how is he able to do this? And then that's how it sparked me. I was like, you know what, I gotta learn this, and I actually started out learning credit repair. I never really did credit repair for other individuals. I pretty much worked on myself, um, which was actually great. I learned a lot, and but it wasn't until I actually, I got my mentor. His name is Glad. He taught me the game even further with credit, and he also brought me in on the business funding side. And I always been in the mindset of helping people, no matter what I was doing, whether it was retail, whether it was just speaking to someone. Like I always been in the headspace of helping someone, right? I find great passion in helping other people, helping them get to point A to point B. So that's always where my mindset is at. So that's how it sparked me to to start this and go on this particular journey.
Man, that's awesome, man. Kudos to you, man. Yeah, him 500. That's a powerful brother, man. I definitely tap into his content as well. I got another question, man. So, what are your biggest challenges thus far? About your journey in entrepreneurship. What are some of the challenges that you had to face or are currently facing?
Oh man. Yo, where do I start? A lot of people think that being an entrepreneur is just all peaches and cream. I work for myself and things like that, but it's that's not the case. You're actually gonna work longer and work harder being an entrepreneur, and you're gonna experience more, more troubles. And you definitely have to have a solid mindset to embrace failure, right? So to answer your question, one is with me is just dealing with life. You know, um, Recently I lost, loved ones, lost my cousin, just and dealing with that in the midst of, trying to post content every day, trying to reach out to clients every day, just doing my daily everyday activities that can really, bring you down to the point where, it'll make you want to, not do what you're doing. So that's a big challenge right there. Another challenge that I've faced is that when you're first starting out in entrepreneurship, you're not gonna have all the revenue, right? You're not gonna have all the profit. You're not gonna, have all the clients reaching out to you wanting your services, right? So you have to understand that you have to put in work. If you want to get to where you're trying to go, you got to put in some work, right? And it's going to be times where it's going to get frustrated. It's going to be times where you're going to question yourself, right? But then that's where when motivation, I ever heard the saying, when motivation runs out, that's when discipline got to kick in, right?
Mm.
So, that's another challenge right there that I've faced as well, too. Those some of the big challenges I faced during my time and journeys this far.
Wow, powerful, man, indeed, indeed. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs out there that may be watching or listening. Even myself, man, I know I've came across a lot of obstacles and challenges and even trials. And we all have to do our best to get through them. So, that's definitely powerful. Now, for those that are watching, I know that this is a question that they definitely want to answer to. And your from your perspective, right, being a credit expert, preferably or specifically credit repair, what is the difference, between a credit report and a credit score? Because there's a lot of people out there that still don't know the difference, man. So I really want to give them game, man, and I want you to give them game on the difference between those two terms.
Yeah, man, that's actually a really good question. A lot of times, you know, people think that because they have a 750 credit score that they can go out and just get funding, they can get a house, go on these vacations, but that's not the case, right? Your credit report is most important. And I always start here. You have to know what's on your credit report, right? And how you do that is you go to like Experian.com. You can go to annualcreditreport.com and look up your FICO score, right? A lot of people they go to Credit Karma, and Credit Karma in my book is a no-no. Right? We
Mm,
don't want to go to Credit Karma because the reason why is because they use a different algorithm, right? They use something called a Vantage score, and what that does is it boosts up your actual score from what it is. So you think you have a 750, and you go into the dealership and you want to buy your car and get denied. You wonder why, because you was checking out on your Credit Karma. So what I do use Credit Karma for is I use it because they show you actual real time, like what's on your report, like your actual accounts, inquiries, um, what actually is on your credit report. They actually show that in real time. So I actually do use that in that aspect, but actually utilizing that for my actual score, I don't use Credit Karma. But the
mm,
difference is that it's just that's the meat of everything, King. Like that's the meat of everything. And how you break it down, right, with your credit score, right? You have your payment history, you have your utilization, you have your your credit age, your number of counts, and you have your inquiries, right? So if you understand 35, 30, 15, 10, 10, then you in the ballpark, right? So
mm,
35% is your payment history, 30% is your utilization, 15% is your credit age, and 10% is your number of counts and your inquiries, right? So that's how you gauge the difference between a credit report and your credit score, right? So basically, someone with the 680 credit score, but with the solid report, you have solid history, right, on their report, and everything is checking out good, they can get funded. Some with a 750 credit score, but they have a weak report, if something in that particular nature, they'll get denied every time.
wow, wow, wow. Listen, man, I hope y'all taking gems. I mean, taking notes on these gems thus far, and taking these gems into consideration. So listen, there y'all have it. That's the answer to your question. That's the difference between a credit score, credit report. But that was critical, man. I was definitely a question that I received a lot that a lot of people wanted to answer to. So definitely thank you for that clarity. Now I got another question, man. So what were some of the biggest financial challenges that you face when starting your business? Because I know, again, as entrepreneurs, getting access to capital, especially starting out without knowing the knowledge that we have, is pretty tough. So how were you able to get through your financial challenges? When you first started.
You gotta keep going, man. Like, you're gonna, face times where you lose money. You know what I'm saying? You have to be willing to do what others don't want to do, right? What are you willing to do to be who you say you are? Right? You have to do what you have to do. And I always tell people, like, there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5 at all. Actually, a 9 to 5 is your first business partner, right? So when you in these certain situations, like you gotta, may have to go back to McDonald's, you know what I'm saying? Go back to Macy's or whatever, to do whatever you have to do to be able to get to where you're trying to go, right? So that's one of the ways, I've actually overcome many situations, was actually putting my head down, and just locking in. Um, I remember I never forget just a quick story where I funded myself 60K, $60,000 on the personal side,
Wow.
and life hit. You know what I'm saying? Life hit. Car notes. Right in your face, insurance. Whatever the case may be, unexpected events. And if you don't have the cash available, you know what I'm saying? Then what's the next option? You have the credit sitting right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And anybody in that right mind will go and I'm gonna use my credit, I'll pay it back. But most times we don't have a way for it to pay it back, right?
Mm.
And that's another reason why I always tell people to do not look for any type of credit if you do not have a way to pay you back. If you do not have any way to have earned income at the moment, don't look for credit. If you don't have a strategic plan to pay back this money, don't try to get credit. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you're using other people's money, but it's the bank's money. You have to pay them back. It's not free. You know what I mean? You gotta have a strategic way to pay this information back. So that's how I've overcome financial situations. Was just doing what I have to do, no matter what it is. Even if I didn't want to do it, King, I always just say, you know what? Let me just do it. It's not temporary. It's not permanent. It's only temporary. So let me just put my head down and do what I gotta do.
Indeed, man. And you dropped a major gem that I don't think a lot of people catch. You said your job is your business partner. That's a gem right there. That was a gem. You say your job, your 9 to 5. That's gonna be your business partner. A lot of people don't realize that, man. Again, we don't as entrepreneurs, man. I got the entrepreneurial spirit. Yeah, we don't like working our job, but that capital that we make from our job, that's gonna help us fund our dreams and our empire. That's why I tell my audience all the time, man. So you just confirmed everything I've been telling them, man. So again, for those that's taking notes, your job is your business partner. Your 9 to 5 is going to be your business partner, and it's going to be your biggest investor. So let's talk about the business consultancy side, because you're also a business consultant, you're a business coach in that respect. Let's say I wanted to become a client, or for those that may be watching want to become a client and they want to work with Troy. Um, what benefits, what education, what information, would I be receiving if I wanted to, become a full-time client with Troy?
For sure. So the information that you'll be receiving is number one, you'll get all access to me and my particular network. Anything new that I've learned or come across that you'll always get access to, whether it's like particular banks, like individual that actually does something else, whether it's like credit repair or they do Airbnb, Turo, like anybody within a particular industry that you'll always have access to become a client. The first thing that I always do, I always vet my clients. I don't fund everybody. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to fund everybody. The reason being is because if I get you funded and you fumble the bag, now it's on me. I don't have any responsibility to what you do with the money, but then I won't feel right mentally. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's not the reason why I got into the space. I got into the space, yes, to make money, but I also want to help others succeed as well too. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why I vet my clients first. Um, and then from there, I'll review their personal credit, right? So there's something called a PG, and that's personal guarantor, right? And I PG in my company every single thing, right? And that means is that we focus on 0% interest credit cards, and these banks they look at your personal credit. So again, knowing the difference between a credit score and a credit report, if you're hitting certain data points, then you're able to get funded, right? So once I review your credit report, and if you have an LLC, if you don't have an LLC, my company also creates one for you. There's also a website called InkFile, right? You can also go on there and they'll do everything for you, um, which is actually pretty dope. You know what I mean? So once you have those in place, we'll get on a Zoom call. We'll chop it up. I'll make sure that you're a good fit to work with. It's good vibes, and then from there, we just lock it in and get you funded within your business.
Powerful, powerful, man. That's powerful. So again, with everything you have going on, all the businesses, all the endeavors, all of the, entrepreneurial affairs that you are tapped into. What motivates you to keep going, bro? What's the real reason behind everything that you're trying to build, everything that you're trying to establish?
My mother,
Mm,
my mother is like my biggest why.
mm,
Being because growing up, just watching her, just go through certain things, having to put things aside, watching her struggle, things of that nature. You know, I lost my little sister about what 6 years ago.
mm,
Yeah, even that was kind of tough. So my biggest why is I want to be able to put my family in a certain place. Myself first. I always tell my clients too, you have to put yourself first. Because if you don't put yourself first, how are you gonna pour into somebody else if your cup is empty?
mm.
And how are you gonna pour into your loved ones if you're empty on the inside? So you gotta worry about yourself first, mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally. You gotta make sure you're good first. Um, yeah, but man, but my mother's my biggest why, and that keeps me going every day. Just to keep pushing. You know, just to be transparent. There is times where you will get into your own headspace. There will be times where you get into your own thoughts and you get slowed down, and that's natural. That's a natural thing that we all go through. That actually you gotta your biggest competitor is yourself.
Yeah.
It's nobody else. You're fighting against yourself, and most times you gotta. I always tell myself you have to win the day in yourself,
Mm.
because that'll be the only thing that will slow you down when it comes to anything that you're doing. So that's my why, man. That keeps me going.
Wow, man, that's powerful, bro. That's really powerful. Really, really powerful. You gotta have a why for what you do, or you're gonna forget about, what the reason why you're doing what you're doing.
Right.
So why is definitely very powerful, and your why, indeed, man, is definitely powerful. And I commemorate you, man. For not letting your situation dictate your life, but just making the best out of your situation, and turning lemons in a lemon pie. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, so the next question, bro, is how do you handle or how do you grow and scale your business? That's the question. How do you grow and scale your business?
The biggest thing that I encourage any entrepreneur starting out, even with you know they're already in their business, is networking.
Mm,
You have let me back up. The first thing you have to post content. You gotta post content every single day, even if you don't want to. You have to post content. Content is the biggest thing, and I actually have done way better with my content this year than I ever done in any other business. And that comes from just having information value. Even if it's just getting on and just send a couple of words. Like everything is content. You know what I mean? So and with your content, your key goal is to always try to give value to your particular targeted audience, right? Giving them value into where they can utilize that information quickly, right? Because you don't want to give out information where no one can benefit from it,
mm,
right? So that's one way to grow your business. The next thing is always networking, right? I always say it's power in collaboration. Like even right now, I thank you for allowing me on the show. This is collaboration. You know what I mean? This is definitely networking. You reached out and you stated you wanted me on the show, and that meant a lot to me. This actually is my one of my first podcasts that I've ever been on. you
wow.
know, Anyone ever want to hear what I had to say in this particular platform. So it definitely is gonna hold a special place, with me. But yeah, man, networking. You can go on sites like Meetup.com, Eventbrite. Have those two apps on your phone, on your like just right there where you can see it because you're always gonna find events in your local area. People always think you have to travel across the states and here and that just to get to a particular event. But there's events right in your backyard that you can go to, and you'll never know that you'll find out there's a bunch of entrepreneurs within your area that's doing the same that you're doing.
Mm,
If you just go to particular websites, you know what I'm saying. So networking is definitely key. Getting into these rooms is that's the biggest thing too. Just being in the room and understanding that you have to have a mindset where you're the. I don't mean it in this particular term, but how I think is that whenever I go into any room, I always say I'm the dumbest person in the room. Not
Yeah.
saying I'm actually dumb, but I always go with a mindset to learn something new. Forget everything I already knew, but I want to go into a room, learn something new, and take something from it. Meet somebody that can take me to another level. You never know. You might meet your next business partner in the next room. You know what I mean? So definitely networking is key. Big facts.
Indeed, indeed, man. If you're the smartest one in the room, man, you in the wrong room. You know
Definitely
what I'm saying?
wrong.
So yeah, yeah. Obviously, we don't really mean that we dumb, but we speaking figuratively. But again, if you're the smartest one in the room, you in the wrong room because there's always room for growth. There's always room to learn more and to definitely improve. So that was definitely a gem you just dropped. Now we're gonna go back into the credit sector because you're definitely an expert in that respect. So, what do you say to a person, um, or what are three steps, or maybe you can list more, or maybe less. It all depends on where you want to go. What are three steps, credit repair steps that a person could take in order for them to repair their credit?
Fact. So the first three steps is actually big steps. The first thing is called optimization, right? You want to clean up all your personal information. You want to have one name on there, one address, one job. You know what I mean? You want to look stable to the banks. So because when you're going to the banks and they see you have multiple jobs, multiple addresses, you know what I mean, multiple versions of your name, like that looks kind of unstable. So that's the first thing you want to do, right? The next thing you want to do is you want to freeze all secondary credit bureaus, right? A lot of times people think that Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion that they're the government agency, but they're not government agencies. They're
Mm,
just credit reporting agencies, right? They're actually answer to another bureau, right? Which is called CFPB, which is Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. So in layman terms, they're like the big brother to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, right? So what I mean by free secondary bureaus, right? They're the ones that actually house all your personal information, right? So
mm,
Experian, Equifax, they're not going back to all the credit. They're not going back to every credit card you apply for. They're not going back to any of these people to verify your information. They verify your information through, secondary bureaus, which is LexisNexis, SageStream, ARX, excuse me. You got CoreLogics, Clarity Services. Like there's a bunch of them that actually house your personal information. So if you freeze that side, then it'll be hard for them to verify your information when you're applying for credit. So that's a big gem right there too. And the third thing is you want to remove all remarks. So let's say what I mean by that is that let's say if you went and you try to get your credit repaired, right? You went to someone they tried to repair your credit. What will happen is a lot of these creditors, they will put a remark on your credit report. They'll say, okay, this account was disputed on this particular date, and that mark would be right there, right? So when you go and apply for credit and they see that particular mark, it will probably stall out your account, or they probably won't approve you for whatever you're trying to apply for. But if you remove that particular remark, it actually restarts the dispute process.
mm.
And that way you'll be able to go out and still, if you got any negative items on your credit report or whatever the case may be, you can go ahead and get those removed.
Wow, wow, love it, man, love it. Listen, again, we encourage y'all to please share this broadcast. Please share this episode. It's powerful already. My man T Roy is dropping these gems and he's giving y'all the game and the information that y'all need in order to excel in entrepreneurship and especially to get your credit right, man, because that's a vital part of being an entrepreneur. Every entrepreneur, every business owner should be striving to, really improve their personal credit and business credit. So this is some amazing gems that he's dropping so far. So we want to encourage everybody from wherever you're watching from, no matter what platform. It could be the Gojuda app. It can be our YouTube page. It can be our Facebook. We want everybody to keep on commenting, asking the questions, and we want y'all to share this broadcast, get the word out there, and let somebody else be blessed by this information. All right, let's delve into the next question. So, let's say I'm a young person, man, or somebody, a youth that definitely wants to build their credit. Maybe I'm an aspiring entrepreneur, and I want to definitely focus on building my credit. Where should I start, or what are the steps necessary for me to take in order for a young person, to really start building their credit?
For sure. So the first thing for anybody young that's looking to build their credit, there's something called credit builder accounts, right? So for someone that has no credit history at all, you want to add positive accounts to your credit report,
Mm,
right? So there are certain data points that I look for when it comes to business funding. You need to have 5 to 7 positive accounts. You need to have less than uh, about 2 to 9% utilization. If you have about 20%, then we can get it done still. But to be optimal for business funding, 2 to 9% utilization. You need at least 4 years of credit age, but that can always be built out with the trade line. We can add to your actual profile. You need you need about 10 plus uh less I'm sorry, you need less than 3 inquiries within the last 6 months on your credit report, right? And across the board, which means on Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, right? And no late no late payments within the last 2 years, no derogatory marks, no collections, no repos, no bankruptcies, any of that. We don't want that on your credit report, right? So that's what we look for when it comes to your actual report and getting funded. For someone that's not don't have those particular data points and is just starting out, there's something called credit builders, right? And these particular accounts, they help do what it says it would do. It help give you history on your particular report. So you want a mixture of revolving accounts and installment accounts. Revolving accounts is your credit card, right? Installment accounts is like your auto loan. You got your mortgage. You got your student loans. Those are installment accounts, right? And what you want to do is you want two of each. You want two revolving accounts and you want two installment accounts, right? So for the revolving accounts, you can go out and get you secured cards, right? Secured credit cards. Navy Federal, they offer secure cards. Discover It offers secure cards. Um, Citibank, they offer secure cards. And what these cards do is if you make on-time payments, right, you'll deposit your own capital right onto this card. And if you make on-time payments every month, what it will do, it will build your positive history, right? It'll build your history in a positive way. And then within like 6 months to a year, that car would eventually graduate to an unsecured line of credit, right? So that's one way to build your credit. Another way is through installment accounts. You have Credit Strong, right? You have Self Inc., right? And these are secured loans, right? Again, you're depositing your own money. They have different options. They're like savings accounts, right? So what will happen is if you make on time monthly payments every single month, right? Again, it's going to build your history, right? Which is what we want. We want positive history. So it'll build your history, and at the end of that term that you have chosen, they'll give you all your money back in the form of a check, right? So that's actually a plus, right? So you build history, and at the end of that term, you get your money back. Um, You have other ones which I personally love. You have Rent Reporters, you got Rental Karma, you got Boom Pay. These are actually great, is because they actually backdate your rental history. So everyone rents, like living in New York or wherever, anywhere you may go, everyone is renting out an apartment or whatever the case may be,
yeah.
right? So with what that would do is that it will backdate your rent history for the last 2 years. So now you have 2 years of positive history on your account.
Mm,
And the hack to that is that you can let them know, hey, I moved into this particular location about 8 years ago. So now you have an open account for 8 years, which is great, and you have 2 years of history, reported history on your credit report, right? So that's a great way to build your history up within 30 days, along with the secure credit cards. The only downside to Renter Karma and Rent Reporters is it only reports to Equifax and TransUnion. That's the only downside, right? Kind of like it leaves Experian like kind of like blank, but
Mm.
at the end of the day, it's actually very powerful. Um, you also have secure loans, right? I always tell people when you're first starting out, you want to go to the credit unions, right? The reason why we go to credit unions first is because they give you more access to their products. They give you the bigger bag, right? If your personal credit is set up the right way, they'll reach out to you and give you more access to their products. And when you do get access to their products, we don't want to put lipstick on the pig, right? You don't want to go in and start using that personal credit to deploy into your business or whatever you're trying to do, right? Because it's on your personal credit. It's reporting on your personal credit. Business credit, it does not report to your personal credit, right? So we want to use what we get from the credit unions as leverage, right? Because when the bigger banks like Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, when they see these large lines of credit on your credit report, they're gonna say, okay, he has relationships with other banks, and he has large lines of credit on his report. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna give him a bigger bag, right? So we always want to start out with those credit unions. So for anyone just starting out, if you're a young person, just leaving high school, whatever the case may be, uh, I didn't do this when I was younger. I wish I knew what I do then, now. But the best thing you want to do is start with credit union and get those positive accounts on your report. And you doing that, by the time you're like my age, you'll be way further than where I am right now.
Wow, that's powerful. For all my young people that's watching and listening, listen, there you have it. That's the game. Troy just gave y'all the game, so y'all definitely want to apply it, man. And we I'm gonna be checking in with y'all to make sure y'all did everything Brother Troy just said. So, cause he just said a lot just now that would definitely help you, to excel in your future, and especially in your entrepreneurial endeavors. Get that credit right, man. So if you didn't know where to start, you got the information. Now it's up to you to apply it. All right, Troy. We almost done, man. But just got a few more questions I want to ask you. So, what mistakes did you wish you could have avoided? Throughout your journey of entrepreneurship.
What mistakes I wish I could have avoided? Just definitely just being more aware of what I'm doing, because a lot of times people don't understand the decisions you make in your personal life. It will lead to who you are in the future.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So you gotta just be more aware of your financial habits. You know what I mean? So like, well, and what I mean by that is that you have to budget. You gotta know how to save. You gotta know where your money's going, where it's coming at. You gotta have those things in place and build those habits, because it will leak over into your business side,
mm,
right? Because if you don't have financial literacy, that's what I was looking for. You have to be financially literate. The reason being is because when opportunities come your way, or other things start coming your way, you'll be able to make quick decisions. As we always say, right? Success loves speed. But if you're not financially literate and you're someone that always will say, "Oh, I don't want to make that investment because it's a scam," or "I got bills to pay," or whatever the case may be, you're gonna lose out every single time,
mm,
right? So you have to be able to bet on yourself, even when you're down to your last dollar, even when you have nothing in your pocket. You know what I mean? You have to still bet on yourself, because you're gonna win every single time. You know what I mean? So that's a mistake I made early on, is that when I ran into like tough times, I tried to uh, do things or act in a desperate manner, you know what I mean, when it came to certain investments. So I didn't want to invest in myself for certain things because of my current situation. But as time went on, I just took that step, man. Like I invested money into mentorships, even if it didn't benefit me the way I wanted it to. I still spent that 3K. I still spent that $1,500. You know what I mean? Just because I wanted to win. I believe in myself. You know what I mean? Even when my back is against the wall, I'm always gonna believe in myself 100% of the time. So that's another gem I want to just give out to everyone, especially the young ones. Like, just always bettering yourself. Don't let a job dictate your worth. Don't let nobody dictate your what you bring to the table. You have to understand what you bring to the table. You know what I mean? You have to have know what value you bring to others. You know what I mean? So that's a mistake that not only myself, but I realize a lot of people tend to make. It's just not understanding the value that you have and just being grateful. You know what I mean? You woke up this morning. You know what I mean? You got life, you got health. You know, a lot of these things people wish they had, and a lot of that it goes into your business. It's not just money. You know, what I mean? You gotta focus on your health. You gotta focus on your mental, uh, being spiritual. You know what I mean? Being a good person, your emotions, like all of that, it helps what you get in the bag in your business.
Indeed, man. Indeed. Nah, that's powerful. Definitely a lot of facts you just spit, man. You know, so how do you manage, man, to balance, your work and balance the things that's going on in your life? Because you mentioned that, making money's cool, getting to the bag is cool, building wealth and learning about, the things of finances, it's cool and it's very essential in order for us to excel, and to become financially healthy. But if you're not spiritually aligned, and if you're, every other part or every other area of your life is discombobulated and disorganized, then it's like, what are you really working for? You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to be able to enjoy it. So my question to you is, how do you manage to balance your work life, your life as a husband with your lady, all the business endeavors that you got going on? How will you manage to keep that balance and to still be mentally healthy and emotionally stable? Because for a lot of entrepreneurs, especially starting out, they can't seem to understand that concept.
Yeah, I think one key thing is to set boundaries. You
Mm,
know, a lot of times entrepreneurs or people just starting out, they think you have to be the jack of all trades. You have to find that one thing and stick to it, right? And excel in that business. And then from that one venture, then you want to go out and create branches to what you're really doing, right? Or start something within from extension from what you're currently doing, right? Because you don't want to burn yourself out.
right.
Another thing, my lady, she always tells me, she always say, Troy, you gotta just, take a break. Let's go out, let's do something, whatever the case may be. It's okay to take time away from what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's okay to take time and just reset. You know what I mean? That's a big gem too, because you can be so focused on trying to get to the bag, trying to make this happen. Because me personally, when I get locked in or something, I tend to like forget about everything. You know what
Mm,
I mean? I tend to like just get so locked into where I forget what I ate in the morning. You know what I mean? Like it just get to that particular point.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So another thing is that I going to the gym. I haven't gone in the last 2 months, but I'm very active in the gym. And just in this time frame, I see where it kind of like threw me off a little bit.
Mm,
Is because when I'm in the gym, it's like therapy. You know what I'm saying? My mind, it's free, it's open. I'm working on my body, things like that. So definitely going to the gym is a great outlet when it comes to balancing, life, my work, my 9 to 5, as well as my business as well too. And another thing is, you have to have a support group. Like, there's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's nothing wrong with seeking help from others that has already done what you're trying to do. Like, that's accountability partner. So I do have an accountability coach. His name is Ray Kim James, and we actually went to high school together. And it's just so dope how we made a full 360, and now we're actually working together. It's a different vibe, different type of conversation that we're having, and it's definitely to have that type of uh person on your side that can actually hold you accountable to what you're doing, help you exceed certain goals. Because you can only go as far as you can go. But if you have somebody in your corner pushing you, you can go a step further. You know what I mean? So I always pride myself in surrounding myself with people that can do things that I can't do, or people that know certain things that I don't know at the moment. You know what I mean? So that's that's key. Your environment is definitely key.
Indeed, indeed, man. Indeed, I agree with you 1,000%. How important, man, and you touched on this earlier in the episode, but how important, man, is mentorship. You know, because I have a lot of mentors in the different sectors that I operate in, but I want you to express to the people that's tuning in and watching how critical it is to have a mentor, whether it's one or five or 10, but how important it is to have, um, like you just mentioned, an accountability partner, a coach, somebody that can, give you that proper guidance.
Having a mentor or mentorship or anybody within that particular space is huge. Not I'm not saying that you can't be successful on your own, but it's gonna be a lot tougher,
Mm,
right? Because you're doing it by yourself. You know what I mean? You and I always say is that you have to find somebody who's coming back from where you're trying to go, learn what they do, learn their mistakes, and you got to pay for their time. And that's the mistake, or that's what people want to avoid. They don't want to pay. You know what I mean? They don't want to pay for anyone else's time, right? Because that individual, they went through all the bumps and the bruises, they took all the L's, and whatever the case may be, to help someone else. So what I would do, someone in that's looking to learn something, I want the fast pass. You know what I mean? I want to learn as quickly as possible. What are you doing? How are you doing what you're doing? So yes, I am willing to pay because the information that I will get, what I mean? It's gonna only give me a 10 times return ROI in the end, right? So you have to pay. You gotta put that skin in the game, right? You're not gonna go to the gas station and say, Lord, I need you to, give me some gas out of this gas station, please. I need some gas, Lord. It don't work that way. You gotta put something into the, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta put something in there. You know what I mean? So, and that's the same way when it comes to learning information. Like, you don't want to just uh reach out to someone within a particular space that, hey, can you tell me X, Y, and Z? Because that number one, that's kind of disrespectful, and two is we probably get left on red because that person went through everything to get to that particular point, and
yeah,
all you see is the success. You know what I mean? So you gotta be willing to pay as well too. And once you
indeed,
do all those things, man, like having a mentor is huge. And it's definitely I can't express enough how much having a mentor, being within a community, being around other people that's doing what I'm doing, that's at the same level where I'm at, is definitely key, man. Having someone behind you pushing you every step of the way.
indeed, man. So, what separates Troy, the entrepreneur, from every other entrepreneur out there?
What separates me is that again, like I work with a particular group. I work with people like-minded individuals like myself. And the reason why I do is because I can connect with that individual even more. Everyone is doing business funding. You can go on Instagram right now and see a ton of people doing business funding. But the thing that separates any individual in any business is value. The more value that you can give, in with the person that you are, people are more likely to come and do business with you. You know what I mean? Or the other way is it's just to cut into your profit margins and just lower your prices. But you don't want to do that, right? Because you're losing out on money. The
Yeah,
only way you can actually, separate yourself within any industry is just adding more value. The more value you add, there is no price barrier. The more value that you add, you're not competing in price. You know what I mean? Because people gonna want to spend money with you. And just to piggyback off what I just said too, you gotta be willing to give away free game, and that's what separates me as well too. I'm always in a mindset of giving. The Bible says, God loveth a cheerful giver, right?
yeah,
You gotta be in the mindset of wanting to give away everything. Don't be selfish, because not like most times if you give it away, they're still gonna come back to you and want to do business with you. This is how it is.
mm,
You know what I mean? So if you get in that mindset of giving, you're gonna get everything in return. And that's my take on that. As far as what separates me, I don't hold anything back. I pull all the curtains back, and I just give you everything.
I love it, man. I love it. Indeed, 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 man. So now, what books would you recommend? Aspiring entrepreneurs to read. In order for them to get more information and more insight on entrepreneurship and to really learn about financial literacy and different ways to be successful.
Gotcha. I actually got my books, got them on deck with me
There you
everywhere I
go.
go. I got Russell Brunson's .com secret. You
Okay.
got protect this book at all times. This book,
Mm.
this book is very powerful, and the other one is Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I love this book right here. I'm actually gonna reread it. Um, it's definitely give you a lot of insight on financial literacy, on how to invest. He actually broke down financial literacy in the most simplest way ever. If you know the difference between an asset and a liability, that's all you need to know. You know,
Mm.
that's all there is to financial literacy. The difference between an asset and a liability. You
Mm.
know, so those are the two books I recommend. Is again Russell Brunson, .com Secret, and Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Powerful, man. Powerful. Yeah, man. We coming up on the tail end, man. But yeah. So is there any advice you would give, or what advice would you give to um a younger Troy? The 20-year-old Troy, or the teenage Troy. What information that you know now would you recommend or would you give to your younger self?
If I was to go back and speak to my younger self, it would be just to seek information.
Mm.
You know, a lot of the information I know now, it wasn't given to me then. You know, in the environment that I was in, none of us knew anything about that. It was a few that actually started out. You know, they was on. You know, back then, he was on eBay. They was selling sneakers, and the
Yeah.
case. But my mindset wasn't on that. You know, I always wanted something of ownership, but I was never in the mindset where I am right now. So if I was to go back and tell my younger self anything, it would just be just better yourself and seek information. Just start. The biggest thing that you can do is just start. And most people just don't start whatever that thing is. They'll say I'll wait till tomorrow, or I'll wait till next week, but there's never a perfect time to do anything. You know what I mean? So if you just start now and don't, you just run half the battle. Then everything else, it would be a trial, tribulation. You're learning from experience. That's the biggest teacher in life is your experience.
Mm.
So if I can go back, I would say, yo, Troy, just start now. You know, just whatever it is, just start. Just do it now. And that's my biggest thing. I'll do for my younger self.
Man, it's been a pleasure, man. Definitely having you on the show. I definitely got to bring you back on, man.
Yes,
There's
sir.
so many more questions I want to ask you, man. But we definitely coming up on the tail end of time. But you know, what last minute remarks, man? As we get ready to close, would you give the online audience, entrepreneurial gems, or however you want to flow in this vernacular? What last minute remarks or gems would you want to give the people that's tuning in?
Again, my name is Troy P. I'm a business consultant, entrepreneur. I help entrepreneurs that works a 9 to 5 secure up to 50 to 100K in capital by using strategic funding solutions that are tailored to your personal credit report and your business needs. I hold your hand every step of the way. If you need my assistance, you can find me at Troy Pinkney on Instagram as well as on Facebook. And I'll be glad to reach out to you. We can chop it up, and we can just get the bag from there.
Indeed, man. Well, T. Roy, my man, it's been a pleasure, man. Again, thank you, man, for joining. Tapping in with me. For these last couple moments, man. I know the people were definitely blessed, bro. I know they definitely gonna reach out to you and they're gonna hit you up, man, on Instagram and really chop it up with you about becoming a client and having you assist them and in their business affairs and endeavors. But once I reached out, man, again, I checked out your profile and everything that you have going on. And, you were just gracious and humble enough to answer and respond. And, we were able to connect from there, man. And, now you appear as a guest on my show. So kudos to you, man. Thank you. I learned a lot from you today, man. I know the audience did. Again, you can find him on Instagram at Troy Pinckney _ This is a phenomenal brother right here. You're gonna learn a lot if you tap in with him and all of his programs that he got going on. And listen, man, if I don't see y'all anymore this week, I will definitely see y'all next week on Money Talk Mondays. Until next time, I want everybody to have an awesome Thanksgiving. I want y'all to definitely, go back and replay this broadcast. This information cannot be, looked down upon. I believe this information that Brother Troy dropped is definitely going to be beneficial to your financial situation, especially for all of my entrepreneurs out there that really want to scale their business and grow their business effectively and efficiently. You definitely want to replay this broadcast and take notes. Take notes and allow this information to be ingrained into your mind and into your spirit so that you can know what you need to do in order for you to become successful. All right. Well, without further ado, once again, make sure you like, tag, make sure you comment, make sure you engage. Let us know how you like this broadcast. And until next time, I am your host with the most, Jawaan Sween, on Money Talk Mondays. And I will see y'all next time. Troy, appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
Every leader needs a safe place to grow, develop, heal, and recover. That place is Kingdom Fellowship of International Covenant Churches and Ministries. From inception, our foundational purpose was and is to build the kingdom of God through building and strengthening the people of God. Through our worldwide network of churches, ministries, and affiliates, we are able to provide the following: fully accredited Bible college with courses of study that ensure your preparation for successful ministry, practical ministerial technical assistance, monthly pastoral aid, impartation and training with the presiding bishop, conventions, conferences, and workshops designed to strengthen you, empower your leadership team, and refresh the local assembly. Network with other like-minded, like-faith, and local pastors in your region. Call now to learn more at 1-855-GO-JUDAH or email at empowerment@gojudah.com. Visit www.gojudah.com for more details. Kingdom Fellowship is covering without domineering. Kingdom Fellowship of International Covenant Churches and Ministries. We're better together. Are you looking for a place to worship? Are you looking for the Word of God, preached with power and demonstration?
God is counseling demonic debts. God is counseling generational cycles. God is counseling generational curses.
The Breakthrough Chapel is that place to be. Our mission is to reach the lost, deliver the bound, heal the broken, and empower the found.
It's over! It's over! Behold, I will do a new thing.
A church with a heart for the community. A place where you are welcomed, loved, and nurtured. A fellowship of believers transforming lives, cities, and the world with the power of God. Grow with us this week in our Sunday morning worship celebration at 10:30 a.m. Sunday afternoon Holy Ghost Breakthrough service at 5:30 p.m. Wednesday night, Recharge at 7 p.m. Right here at the Breakthrough Chapel, 3723 Route 112, Gorham, New York, 11727, with Bishop E. Edward Robinson II. Don't forget to download the Go Judah app. Join our e-church community and follow us all on social media platforms today. Call 1-855-GO-JUDAH or visit www.gojudah.com for more details. The Breakthrough Chapel. We're here for you. You're watching Morning Break Time with the Bishop. Bishop E. Edward Robinson II, your host. Prophetic charge and apostolic activation. Live on Facebook and other social media platforms every Tuesday at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Bishop, the Prophet, the Teacher. Receive living water, fresh manna from heaven.
It's time for your miracle.
Morning Break Time with the Bishop.